I summoned you, please come to me. Don't bury thoughts that you really want. I fill you up, drink from my cup. Within me lies what you really want. Come, lay me down, cause you know this, cause you know this sound. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, just go my days, I'm yours to tame. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, I'm wide awake, I crave your taste all night long, till morning comes. I'm getting what is mine, you gon' get yours, oh no. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, oh. These burning flames, these crashing waves wash over me like a hurricane. I'll captivate, you're hypnotized, feel powerful, but it's me again. Come, lay me down, cause I know this, cause I know this. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, just call my name, I'm yours to tame. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, I'm wide awake, I crave your taste all night long, till morning.
Alright, just finished the shoot with Alex. It was a good time. Did full drops worth of stuff. The drop this time is actually really fire. Plus of the jean, baggy shorts, jorts, couple tees, stuff like that. This studio made things a million times easier because the weather has been god awful and we've been watching it, you know, piss cat and dogs outside. So also every time me and Alex shoot, we've been at the warehouse, downtown Sanford, a couple other spots, and we're always just sweating our balls off because of his availability matched with mine, and it's just all over the place. So now we're really just gonna be studio hopping, and it really makes things a lot, you know, cleaner and not having to deal with like, you know, natural sunlight and stuff like that, be able to control everything. Also backdrops, which I do have one of these in my office space now, which is where Alex will come probably in the next week or two for another shoot, but now we'll just be studio hopping. There's some good ones in Orlando that you can rent. And the reason why that's cool rather than just walking down the street somewhere and finding good spots is one, like I said, natural lighting. You never know what that's gonna be like. Two, also it's Florida. We're literally at the hottest time of the year right now, so you wanna be inside, you know what I mean? We have a bathroom right here. We can lay all of our camera gear and clothes everywhere and on the ground without things getting dirty, worried about them getting stolen. And every time we're out shooting somewhere in public, you know, there's people all the time that are like, Alex, 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 and it just distracts us and we just can't get a move on things. So shoot went over super good. Just keep moving up the ladder with Alex, Young LA, all that good stuff. Now we got a full rest of the day to do more work, get shit done because we're grinding out here, and yeah.
A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So, he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning and calculating. I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, it's useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master. And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking they have lost touch with reality. That's to say, we confuse science with the real world.
The story kind of felt a little bit incomplete when I was editing this video together, so I wanted to throw a clip in here talking about how I got the opportunity to work with Alex Eubank, because I never really touched on that on social media, and some of you guys are probably like, how did he score this? You know what I'm saying? Let alone like doing his work for Young LA through Alex and all this crazy stuff. Anyway, so when TikTok became a thing, Alex Eubank was literally the guy who launched, fitness through TikTok. I don't care what anybody says. If you weren't there, you have no opinion on it. But Alex was the one who really, made it what it was as quick as it happened. So Alex actually followed me first when I had like 40K on TikTok, a couple months after TikTok became a thing, 2 or 3 months maybe. And then, I click on his page because I randomly happened to be like on the app when he followed me. I looked and he had like 1,600 followers and 3 videos, And I remember just looking at his page like, wow, like this is a great looking dude, And at the time, my, self-confidence wasn't at an all-time low, but like maybe a 2 out of 10 at best. So I, followed him back, started looking at his content, and then started seeing the videos he posted going forward. And it just really motivated me to like, hey man, this kid's natural and looks like this, like good dude, you know what I mean? Like I really, it was the first time in my life I really felt like I could look like how I wanted to look if I put in the effort. And that's really just how it happened. I started working out, watching what I was eating, going for little walks and runs every day. And then of course COVID happened, and then I had to find a way to work out and all this stuff. Anyway, so then around that time too, that's when, COVID happened, right? Like I said, so peak gaming, peak Warzone. And me and Alex actually used to play like OG Rebirth Island quite a bit together, like almost every night for a couple months. And so that's just kind of how we knew each other somewhat. But at the time, I wasn't even doing, this type of work that I'm doing now, or photography, anything like that. Wasn't doing any of it. So Alex got, huge, popular, kind of stopped gaming, and, I couldn't provide any value to him. Like, yeah, we were friends, but it wasn't like I could just reach out, pick his brain on something, you know what I mean? Like, in my eyes, you have to earn that out of somebody. Like, you have to really be able to provide them a value back, especially somebody with the, the status that he's gotten to, you know what I mean? Like, he's not just like, oh, he's made it. Like, he is quite literally one of the biggest, social media influencers ever currently, or at this time. Fast forward a few years later, I'm at the Arnold in Columbus, Ohio. This it's like March 2nd and 3rd this year, 2024, and I was there with NM Fitness filming for him, and I was filming with him all day at the Arnold until like 4 or 5 o'clock. Anyways, I see on social media that Alex Eubank is doing a meet and greet at the Rise booth at the same event I was at 4 or 5 o'clock. So I get in his meet and greet line, and I was like the 4th person in there. I was there, probably honestly an hour before it pulled up, just because I was doing nothing, and I didn't, I knew that line was gonna be crazy, and it did end up being insane. So meet and greet starts. I wait, 5 minutes or whatever, and I walk up there, and he's like, "Bro, what up?" And it was like this cool thing, dab each other up, and we're chit chatting. And then I asked him, I was like, "Hey, bro, like I don't see a cameraman with you here this weekend. Like, do you need somebody to help you out?" He was like, yeah, that'd be great. So he gave me, the pass to do everything with him and all that stuff, film for him, the rest of that event, and then the whole next day at the Arnold as well. It was super cool. I'd never really worked, at a public event with somebody, as big as he was. So it was cool because, one, just being a part of that opportunity from the opposite, like of the fan side, but also, a lot of the guys that would come up and ask him for an autograph, there was quite a bit that would turn around and ask me for one too, even though it was my like first time on the job. So it was fun. It was a good time, But ever since then, not expecting anything after that weekend, Alex coincidentally moved to 30 minutes away from where I live now, which is where I grew up, near Sanford, Florida, and because of girls. So basically, a couple weeks go by, and Alex needed to do a shoot for Young LA. So he hit me up, asked me if I wanted to do it, and this was just for his personal page. It wasn't like contracted by Young LA. So he threw me a couple dollars, and it was really just like a test to see if Young LA would hire me to do shoots, like real commercial shoots for him, and it ended up working out. So I did a shoot for him literally the day before my wedding, edited him same day, got to him, and then like 2 days after I got back from the honeymoon, had my first contracted with Young LA shoot, and it was great. And now we've been doing them every 2 or 3 weeks since. So it's been a good time, and I hope to keep filming these and showing you guys more what it's like to work with these higher end companies, and what you need to do as the person in my shoes to make sure you keep getting them. So that'll be some information for next video, but for now I just wanted to touch on how I know
how I got to know Alex Eubank and got the opportunity to do some work with you in LA. So there's a lot more coming in that space of things too, a lot of plans, and that Young LA and I have been talking about, so it's looking good. But anyways, back to the video. Working out, it is Friday night. Tomorrow is a super exciting, insane day. So the YouTube video for this week is gonna end by the end of the night tonight. So I wanna tell you a little bit about my biggest clients in Daytona and the people who, the two guys who really helped turn my life, and not life around, like life was going down, you know, a bad spell or anything like that, but you know, I was really struggling to find the work that was able to keep me consistent enough to where I didn't need to look for side work to do and I could just invest fully into my craft. Now, that is Nick Mullen and Zach Snyder. So Nick Mullen is the owner of NXT Level Supplements in Daytona. I've been shopping there with him for 3-4 years now, something like that. Long story short, when Madison and I moved to Maryland and then we decided to move back to Florida, when I was in Maryland, I started actually getting really busy with the camera stuff and it was really starting to pop off. But then we decided we were gonna move back to Florida and I was like, well damn, I just started getting busy with this work. I don't feel like the area, you know, as much as we wanted to move back to Florida, I didn't feel like that area was gonna be good for my type of work and line of work. Nonetheless, we made it work, but one of the two people I called when I was moving back down to Florida, I called Nick, because I had been following him on, this is a huge piece of salmon. Look how thick that John is. When we were coming back down to Florida and I was trying to get some work to get down there and start, you know, immediately to start making making money, or else I wasn't gonna be able to afford to eat, let alone Madison and I together, right? So I called Nick because he had started posting on TikTok and I saw him grow from by the time, when I moved to Maryland, he had like no followers, like less than 1,000. By the time we left, he was like 200, or no, he was over 100,000 and he was just popping up. I was seeing his videos all the time. I was just super proud and impressed with this guy. And I didn't know Nick personally at the time, but when I moved back down, I called Nick and said, hey man, do you need a media guy? And he was like, oh, I'll let you know, bullshit response. Then he called me back like a week later. He was like, bro, let's run it. When are you moving down? And I was like, well, if we're gonna run it, I'll move down tomorrow. And it kind of became one of those types of things. So, and I started out with a very small to-do list and I wasn't making a whole lot, but to me at that point, that was a ton of money. And it was just kind of what initiated me to really ramp up everything and realize that like I can make good survivable income off of my line of work, which is just the photos, the videos, and social media management in general. And literally day one with him, I was all of a sudden managing like 5 social media pages, shooting all the content for TikTok and YouTube and all that, and here we are. But the reason I'm talking to you guys about all this is one of two things. One, you never know who you know, okay? And what I mean by that is, say you have a service or a business that you're trying to start, and you feel like you can't find nobody to sell it to or nobody to provide that service to. I promise you, you know somebody. My person in that realm of things was Nick, and it ended up working out perfectly. And now I really look up to him as a dad, a best friend, a brother. He kind of checks all the boxes for me because he's older than me, but we act like bros, but we're also best friends, but we're also, business partners, but we're also boss and employee. And it's just like, we're multiple different things. And if it wasn't for Nick and Zach, his business partner as well, who were in this video a few minutes ago, now that I think about it, wouldn't be where I am today. Wouldn't be in this nice house, and it would have taken a whole hell of a lot longer to get there. So I walk into work this morning, and what is on my desk in my side of the warehouse, Nick gets me and Madison a R2D2 popcorn machine. Him and his wife Azaria joked around about getting me this multiple times over the last year, and I got kind of sad because I was starting to think they would never pick one up, and I walk in today completely, surprised and see this, and I was just like, man, good guys, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Nick, shout out to Zach, shout out to Azaria, shout out to Mullen and Snyder LLC, and thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. And I know it's a freaking Hobby Lobby popcorn machine, guys, but here's the thing, okay? It's the little act of kindnesses over time that build up to really, I guess, connect and sow ties into relationships, right? So, when I walked in and saw this and read the sticky note on top, it's just like you have a deeper connection as time goes on with those kind of things. So I want to tell you guys to value that type of stuff and recognize that type of stuff, and also be the person that does those types of things. When I got this, it was, you know, it wasn't even like, yes, I appreciated it and I took all that in from it, but then I was like, damn, I haven't gotten this guy anything over the last year, you know, maybe 1 or 2 little things or a meal, but it made me realize, like, man, I need to give more, you know what I'm saying, especially to the people that have given to me. So, you know, just wanted to throw this in there. But yeah, it's Friday night and I got something super exciting for you guys, so don't click out just yet. Next thing is going to be Miss Madison Maples this time is going to be making her infamous sushi bake on the YouTube channel today. For those of you that follow me on social media and Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff, you know what sushi bake is, and the crowds and the viewers rave for it every time. When, you know, I have friends that have came over to try the sushi bake, and when those friends are gone and new friends are here trying it, everybody's so jealous and pissed off. This is basically a recipe I saw on Instagram Reels for a long time, and it only took me about 52 weeks straight of sending it to Maddie before she finally made it. But now it is the best, most treasured thing in a meal that she'll make for the rest of our lives. So we're gonna do a tutorial on that. Are you ready, Madison?
I am.
Okay.
All right, are you ready to make sushi? Bro.
Hey!
All right, are you ready to make sushi bake? So first, I'm gonna start off with probably about, I'm gonna guess this is like 2 pounds of salmon. And by the way, I'm pretty sure that everything that you need costs about $43 for the first time around, and then you basically will just end up reusing most of it other than like the salmon. So what you wanna start off by doing is basically peeling the skin off of it, and then you're gonna cut the salmon into cubes. Okay, and then what you're gonna wanna do is preheat your oven to 400. Alright, and then be sure to wash all the scales off the cutting board, and now you can start to dice it into cubes. Alright, this is one of the most important parts. So you're gonna get your sweet chili sauce, and you're gonna get a ½ cup and pour it in there. And since I'm doubling the amount, I'm doing 2 ½ cups. And then you're just gonna add salt on top. Alright, and then you're gonna take your pan and just spray it. And then you're just gonna pour your rice on top. And I'm just patting it down to kind of even it out. Alright, and then next you're gonna wanna take your sushi nori, which is basically just like seaweed sheets, and you'll place it on top of the rice. And next you're just gonna wanna put your salmon on top of the seaweed sheet. Alright, and then next you're just gonna wanna put your garlic powder and pepper on top. Now once your oven's preheated, you're gonna put it in the oven for about 15 minutes. If you were doing like a smaller pan, it would be about 8 to 10.
Hashtag mom influencer.
Yeah.
I know, I was literally just saying, bro, we should make her a channel that says like Maddie makes or something. Like Maddie makes food, Maddie makes.
It's kind of catchy, low key.
I know, yeah.
All right, and then what you're gonna wanna do is get your toppings. We're just doing mango and avocado today.
Don't tell me you forgot cucumber.
I didn't. Fuck, sorry. That was my fault. But normally we have cucumber.
It's my favorite topping. It's no big deal.
I'm so sorry. Whoops. But we also do pineapple sometimes too, which is really good. So you're just gonna want to cut everything up into small pieces. Okay, now that it's all done being cut, we just wait for it to come out of the oven so we can put our toppings on. Alright, so by the way, after it's done cooking for about 15 minutes, you're gonna want to put the broil on for about 3 to 5 minutes.
On my way home from work, I drive over this bridge all the time, and like the last 5 times I'd seen this hawk, and it would be just chilling on the bridge, like looking down, scavenger for fish. Could have been an eagle, I don't know, pretty ass bird. But I was driving back today, and I was looking for it, and he wasn't in his spot, and then I looked down on the side of the road where the bike path is on the bridge, and he was dead.
Damn.
Sad case.
And by the way, these are the 4 other things that you'll need to finish it off. So you'll just need your salt, your ginger, and then sriracha mayo and rice vinegar. Alright, now we're just gonna go ahead and take it out of the oven. And start adding your toppings, and then next you're just going to add a little bit more salt, and then you'll pour your rice vinegar on top.
Pour. There we go.
You want to go ahead and put your ginger on. I break it up a little bit into smaller pieces. And then next we'll just put your sriracha mayo on top. I'm just putting it in a tablespoon because it's easier to pour out. Alright, now it's time to eat and make a bowl and enjoy it.
Alright, taste test.
You already know. Malays, nothing better. That pizza was pretty good though.
Nice. 10 out of 10?
I could probably eat like 6 of these and want 6 more tomorrow.
Good batch.
10 out of 10.